Before the tarred roads reached the countryside, there was a peaceful African village called Umuocha, surrounded by tall palm trees, red earth paths, and singing birds at dawn. The people lived simple lives, farming, trading, praying, and respecting tradition. Before we continue the story, please subscribe. At the center of the village stood a modest church built of clay and wood. Its bell rang every morning and evening, calling hearts to God. The church belonged to Pastor Ezekiel, a fine tall man, calm and soft-spoken. His beard was always neatly trimmed, and his eyes carried patience. He believed discipline and love must work together. A man known far beyond Umuocha for his wisdom, humility, and deep faith. Yet, while the pastor guided many souls, his own house hid a silent storm. Pastor Ezekiel had only one child, Ada, his daughter. Ada was beautiful, intelligent, and bold. But her beauty was matched by stubbornness stronger than iron. Ada was in her early 20s, tall and elegant, with braided hair and sharp eyes. Her voice was confident, but her heart was restless. Pride often sat where humility should live. She hated correction. She despised advice. And she believed she knew better than everyone, especially her father. While other youths attended Bible study, Ada slipped away to secret gatherings. While her father prayed, she mocked tradition in her heart. One evening, Pastor Ezekiel called Ada to sit with him under the old mango tree behind their house. "My daughter," he said gently, "wisdom is not rebellion dressed as confidence. The path you walk leads to sorrow." But Ada laughed. "Father," she replied, "your faith is old-fashioned. This is a new world." That night, the pastor knelt and prayed with tears. Unknown to the pastor, Ada had fallen in love with Obina, a smooth-talking stranger who arrived in Umuocha with flashy clothes and empty promises. Obina laughed at church, mocked faith, and whispered rebellion into Ada's ears. "Come with me, freedom awaits." Obina was charming but dangerous. His smile hid deceit, and his words were sweet but poisonous. One dark night, Ada packed her clothes and left her father's house without a word. The next morning, Pastor Ezekiel found her room empty. He fell to the ground, crying, not for shame, but for her soul. Life outside Umuocha was not kind. Obina changed. Love turned to cruelty. Promises became insults. Ada tasted hunger, betrayal, and loneliness. The stubborn daughter learned too late that freedom without wisdom is slavery. One evening, weak and broken, Ada remembered her father's words. She returned to Umuocha, barefoot, ashamed, trembling. Pastor Ezekiel saw her from afar. He did not shout. He did not punish. He ran and embraced her. Ada knelt and wept. "Father, I was stubborn," she cried. "I mistook pride for strength." From that day, she changed. Her story became a warning told to generations. Correction rejected becomes regret accepted. Ada's return did not go unnoticed. Women whispered at the river. Men murmured at the market. Some shook their heads and said, "A pastor's daughter should know better." Though her father forgave her openly, the village judged her silently. Ada felt shame burn her heart, but this time, she did not fight it. She accepted it as the price of wisdom learned late. One night, Ada sat alone inside the empty church. She looked at the wooden cross and whispered, "God, can you still use someone like me?" Tears fell freely. For the first time, stubbornness died, and humility took its place. Pastor Ezekiel did not rush her healing. He watched her quietly. When Ada volunteered to clean the church floors, he said nothing. When she joined morning prayers, he observed. When she apologized to elders she once mocked, his eyes filled with tears. True repentance, he knew, speaks through action. One afternoon, Obinna returned to Umuocha. He came dressed better, speaking smoother words. "I have changed," he told Ada. "Let us continue where we stopped." The old Ada would have followed without thinking. But the new Ada saw clearly. "No," she said firmly. "My future will not bleed again." Ada began teaching young girls in the village. She told them her story, without hiding her shame. "Stubbornness nearly destroyed me," she warned. "Listen while wisdom still whispers." Her pain became medicine for others. Yet, deep inside, Ada struggled. At night, memories haunted her. Regret knocked like thunder. She wondered, can God truly erase yesterday? But each dawn reminded her, the sun does not ask permission to rise again. On a Sunday morning, Pastor Ezekiel shocked the congregation. He called Ada forward. "My daughter has a testimony," he said. With trembling hands, Ada spoke, truthfully, boldly. Silence filled the church. Then tears. Then forgiveness. Slowly, the village changed. The same mouths that once whispered now praised her courage. The same eyes that judged now admired her strength. Ada learned that character rebuilt is stronger than reputation protected. One evening, Pastor Ezekiel spoke softly to his daughter. "I lost sleep over you," he said. "But today, I see God's hand clearly." Ada held his hands and replied, "Your prayers carried me home." Years later, Ada became a voice of wisdom across villages. They no longer called her the stubborn pastor's daughter. They called her the woman who returned wiser. Ada's life became a living testimony that stubbornness may delay destiny but repentance restores it. Through patience, humility, and unwavering faith, she rebuilt what pride had shattered, turning her deepest wounds into wisdom for others. Pastor Ezekiel watched with quiet joy as the daughter he once wept over grew into a woman of purpose, her past no longer a shame but a lesson. And so, in Umuocha, her name was no longer spoken with shame but with honor, for the stubborn pastor's daughter became proof that no soul is ever too far gone when grace is finally allowed to lead the way. If you love this story, please subscribe to this channel.